A show about farms just wouldn't be complete without a trip to a dairy. But Wholesome Dairy is not your average dairy. You see, Mark Lopez is a semi-retired veterinarian who returned to the family farm to raise heritage breed Ayrshire dairy cows. Wholesome Dairy is special because it sells raw milk, milk that hasn't been pasteurized. Today, not only will we get to see a dairy operation in full swing and learn about the importance of raising a heritage breed, but also get the lowdown on raw milk. This is Mark Lopez of Wholesome Dairy. Mark, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us today.
It's a pleasure.
I know we caught you in the middle of many errands and many busy things around the barn, but that's a typical farmer, right?
That's right. There's always something to do.
Now, tell me something. You are a self-proclaimed, semi-retired veterinarian, right?
Yeah, I joke about, I like to put it that way because I joke. But yeah, I still actually do a little bit of clinical work. But I just don't do nearly as much veterinary work. The farm takes up most of my time.
And you were a vet in Texas?
I was licensed in Texas and New Mexico and Kansas and Oklahoma, and that's where I did my work.
But your family is rooted here in Pennsylvania, is that right?
Yeah, I grew up in Lancaster County and graduated from Lancaster Mennonite High School. And this farm has been in our family for, I guess I represent the third generation. My grandfather built this farm here.
Nice. So what brought you from Texas to Pennsylvania?
Well, the answer is right there, family. Texas was a great place to practice dairy. It was exciting and worked really hard, and it was a lot of hard work and fun at the same time.
Well, now tell me, you moved back to Pennsylvania 3 years ago, was it?
Yeah, I think it was 2007, so yeah, 3 years ago.
3 years ago, and then when did you get the Ayrshire?
That was in 2008. That was April of 2008. I bought 40 Ayrshire cows and started milking them.
He makes it sound so easy.
Oh, there was nothing easy about it, but you don't want to hear the whole thing, do you?
Well, how did you come to decide on the Ayrshire breed?
Well, I knew that I was going to be making some value-added products like cheese, and I knew that I was going to be doing grass-fed, pasturing them, and so I wanted a cow, and I knew that I was going to be milking them in my grandfather's tie stall barn and my uncle's tie stall barn, so I was going to have to be getting down in there and close to the cows. So I wanted a cow that was going to be a good producer with good cheese yield, one that grazed well, and one that I was going to be able to work with. And as far as, I didn't want to get kicked all up. I've had enough of kicks. And the Ayrshires, they can be a little bit headstrong, but I think they're great to work with. They're great grazers. They're out there grazing in the sun right now, and they have a really good cheese yield with their milk.
Interesting. That's so interesting. Well, that gives us a great segue into mentioning the American Livestock Breed Conservancy. And the Ayrshire breed is listed in the ALBC, as is my Navajo Churro sheep breed and the standard bronze turkeys that we raise. Can you tell us a little bit about the Breed Conservancy and how that factors into, they're concerned with genetic diversity as well as the heritage of the breed and keeping that breed alive, right?
Yeah, well, it's important to keep, like you said, genetic diversity. I think the value of the cow as a production animal has increased, but the value of the cow as a whole asset has we've lost something there.
Yes.
Also, it's great to have a variety of cows. When you picture a cow, if you were to go on to, say, Google Images and look up images of cows, you'd probably see a lot of pictures of Holsteins.
Yeah, yes.
And Ayrshires, and even the milking Shorthorns and the Guernseys and the Jerseys and all these other dairy breeds, they've got something to offer that is valuable. They were bred for their purposes for a reason. And like I said, I listed the reasons why I want my Ayrshires, and they milk pretty well.
Yeah.
Now they're fed grass. They don't milk as much as a high-producing Holstein cow.
So give us the scoop on raw milk. What makes it so special?
Well, it's not processed at all. Raw milk is not pasteurized. It's not homogenized. So it's different. You get a cream settling from the top that you can see if you let it sit for long enough. You can keep yourself from drinking it.
Yes.
And it's a live food. It's a whole food. It hasn't been run through the ringer and processed in that kind of way. So I think it tastes better. It's whole milk, all the fat's in there, but when you graze them out on pasture, the fat profile is different. But back to raw milk, it's there's controversy about raw milk. There's laws regulating raw milk, and probably the questions that I get most often about people that don't know about raw milk is it safe? Is it safe to drink? And it isn't even a matter of opinion. It's going to be a matter of fact. I get my lab results back twice a month, and my coliform and total bacteria counts are undetectable. It's not difficult to make clean milk that has a long, long, long shelf life. I'm talking 3 weeks. So there's that. It's like a live whole food.
Right.
It's healthier for you in that way, and especially grass-fed raw milk.
And in the last couple of years, have you seen an increase in customers?
Always new people, sure. People look for it. It's great because I just have to let them know that I'm here, and they come looking for it. I just get a call from a woman in Jersey. She's going to come up tomorrow, an hour and a half drive, to come get 3 gallons of milk. I think that's great.
Mark, what are you doing right now?
I'm preparing the cow to get milked. What I did is I pre-dipped the cow with bovidine, and now I'm massaging it into her teats, loosening up any surface dirt, and paying special attention to her teat ends, her teat sphincters. That's the part where the milk comes out.
Okay.
See? I almost hit the camera. And now I'm stripping her out. That stimulates the calf's suckling action, and it induces an oxytocin-induced letdown of the milk. And then you need contact time for the bacteria to get killed. The cows like it. See, also, what I'm doing is, when I pre-strip, is I'm removing any milk that might have been contaminated by bacteria. Because the milk, believe it or not, when you're milking a cow with a machine, sometimes you can have milk going back up into her udder. And that's one of the ways that an udder can get infected. There's bacteria in that milk. All right, so what I do is I'm leaving contact time. It's just like a surgical procedure. You know, you treat it, remove any surface dirt. It's got the detergent built in it. This is bovidine. And then it's contact time. Iodine kills bacteria with time. It needs contact time to kill the bacteria. Now, it just so happens that the time it took for me to prep all the first 4 cows, it's the right amount of contact time for the bovidine to have worked and to induce the oxytocin letdown. Now, I wipe her off and I attach the machine. I'm wiping her off by grabbing the teat, giving it a little twist and pulling down on all 4. Now I'm flipping and using a clean side of the towel and getting those teat ends. We don't attach the machine to the cow until those teats are clean enough to put your own mouth on it, because that's really what our customers are being asked to do. And now Dottie's going to show you what she does. See the milk coming out the bowl there? Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about harvesting raw milk and the cleanliness and the standards to which you have to keep the barn and the cows? When I walked in here, my first remark was, this is the cleanest barn I've ever been in. It's cleaner than my barn.
Oh.
It is. And you know, there's very little, if any, odor. You know, the cows are very happy, obviously. And it all goes hand in hand with what you do to harvest your raw milk.
Yes, you're right. You can only milk the cows that come into the barn. And if they come into the barn filthy, there's more chance of contamination. If they come into the barn filthy, it'll take you longer to prepare them. It's just, it's difficult. You're behind the 8 ball already, you know? So that's where having them out on grass helps me, as opposed to having them in a confined housing situation. And every now and then, you get a cow comes in with manure on her udder, it happens, just as a matter of probability. And you have to go through the trouble of cleaning those seats off. And you gotta look and see what you're doing. So cleanliness, you're right. What you're getting at is keeping the barn clean, housing the cows in a clean way. But ultimately, what it comes down to is what's going on right here, at this moment, right now. That teat end and this milker, this is what it all comes down to. Either that thing's clean or it's not. It's clean.
Mark, how many gallons of milk would each cow produce in a day? With 2 milkings, how many gallons or?
I don't measure it in gallons, I measure it in pounds.
Uh-huh.
Right now they're milking at about, what is it? About something like 45, 46 pounds a day. A high producing Holstein herd can produce 60, 70, 80 more pounds a day. So they're doing about half as much as a high producing Holstein herd.
Thanks to Mark Lopez and Wholesome Dairy Farms. Be sure to look for raw milk dairy in your area and research all the benefits there are to raw milk.